Okay, let's call this meeting to order on election eve, 11/4/24. Let's start with roll call.
Garrich, present.
Dennis Geik, present.
Cardone, present. Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, 1.3, citizens present, please sign in if you haven't signed in already. Okay, we'll move on to 1.4, call to the audience. Ms. Scarlett Vargas, please.
Oh, that's really close. Hello, board president, board members. I just wanted to come up here and invite you guys to our expo on Wednesday, November 6th. We'll be here from 8 to 3. We'll have lunch for the vendors from 11 to 12:30. So if you guys would like to stop by and check it out, we'll have students from Kingman. I spaced it. Laughlin, Kingman, Mojave. I spaced it today. Sorry, guys. Mojave County. I invited everybody. So we'll have like 3,000 students. So if you guys would like to stop by, check it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Scarlett. Major Davis.
Dr. Cardone, board members, just wanted to give you a little perspective here, a little background on ROTC. I saw it was on the agenda. On the 21st of October, we just had the first of our now annual inspections. We did okay. We got meet standards, no problem. We did take 2 write-ups. One was the fact we only have 1 instructor, so the other is vacant, obviously. And then the second write-up was, and that actually puts us on probation, we're under 100 cadets for enrollment. So what they do when that happens, they'll put the unit on probation, and you have to write letters and plans about how you're going to increase the enrollment again, which it's not the first time. We've done this before a few years back. So anyway, did that. One bit of a silver lining with that is, I don't know how close you're following the legislature. We're currently on a continuing spending resolution that expires the 20th of December as far as federal money. And what's tied up with that is the National Defense Authorization Act. Some of the language within that takes the minimum number from 100 down to 50. So as soon as that gets signed, we're not on probation anymore. We're sitting on currently 88 cadets in the program. And the last thing I'd like to tell you about, kind of jumping on at the end of the expo, the very next day, Thursday this week, at 2:15 in the new gym, we're doing our Veterans Assembly. So it's the last day before Veterans Day on Monday, so I'd like to invite you all to come out and see that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to 1.5, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion on this? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, let's move down to 1.6, superintendent's report. Dr. Richard?
Mr. President, members of the board, we have our Students of the Month. Mr. Amon, would you please present the CRUHSD Academy Student of the Month?
Good evening, President Cardone and board members. All right, so our student of the month this month is Jacob Mason, and we have a teacher wrote something very, very appropriate for the student, actually. Our student of the month at the academy is Jacob Mason. Jacob came to us behind in his classes and was not engaged in the process of learning. At that time, he was a sophomore who did not complete the majority of his freshman courses, but he did not even want to attend school. Quite honestly, the teacher spent a lot of time just trying to keep Jacob awake during the day. But we were persistent with him and would not allow him to just give up. It wasn't easy throughout the school day for him or the staff, but somehow, some way, as the end of the year approached, he began to see the fruits of his labor before him. It was then he began to realize that with a little ambition, he could rise above what seemed to be the inevitable. And when this time came, Jacob showed up with a different outlook on what he was capable of doing, and since then has turned into a self-motivated self-learner and knows that once he rose above the ashes, he could see a direction and a future that was his to make. We are so proud when students here at the Academy make it to this realization and become able to fly on their own. Jacob is the rising phoenix. We are thankful that he chose our school to take flight. So to the board, the superintendent, and all the teachers that helped mold this fine young man, I give you our Student of the Month, Jacob Mason.
Congratulations. Ms. Gianna Moore, would you please present Mojave High School Student of the Month?
Good evening. I have to be honest, my student of the month thinks that he's here talking about the calendar. He's not. So my student of the month is Jack. He is a freshman at Mojave High School, and he is literally Mr. Mojave. Come on, Jack. Let me come brag about you. Come on, Jack. So let me tell you guys about Jack. Jack is a member of their student council, and he dresses up for every Spirit Day, and not just his socks. He goes all out, whether it is a pink Power Ranger for a pink football game or a literal grill for barbecue dad day. Jack is participating and encouraging others to do the same. He lives his life to the fullest and he has fun every day. He is truly making his high school experience a memorable one. And I wish that all students would take that same mentality and enjoy high school. Beyond being spirited and participating in events, Jack is polite and a leader among his peers. He encourages others to participate and brings a smile to everyone's face he interacts with. This is what Jack's teachers say. Jack is by far one of the most spirited students on our campus. Anytime we have a spirit day or week, there's Jack going all out. However, there's something else that stands out about Jack. It's his willingness to help and learn. On multiple occasions, whenever I've asked for extra help, there's Jack, willing to put in that extra help. It's very appreciated, and especially from a freshman. Jack is a great student who is always willing to participate in class and constantly supports other students around him. He is respectful, funny, and always has a great attitude. It is nice to have a student like him in class. And your friends, Jack, this is what your peers say. Jack is very spirited, fun to be around, and always brings a smile to people's faces. He is a hard worker and is making the most of his high school experiences. He is the definition of T-Bird pride. Jack is hilarious. He has a lot of spirit. He shows up to everything. Jack has always dressed up for spirit days and games. Some of my favorite are his pink Power Ranger outfit, his white robe to the football game, and the banana suit for Green and Gold Day. I present to you Jack Demick.
Congratulations, Jack. And Mr. Wilcox, would you please present River Valley High School Student of the Month?
River Valley Student of the Month is Robert Summerlin. Robert is a junior at River Valley High School. He's currently taking AP courses and dual enrollment courses and is also part of the student council at River Valley. He's also a member of the Honor Society. As part of the student council, he helps with the blood drive, canned food drive. He also volunteers at the senior center, and he also, if you attended White Nights, he was one of the people that walked around serving you at dinner that night at the White Nights. Mr. Nielsen said if there's any time anybody needs a volunteer, Robert is the first person to raise his hand and always there for volunteer hours. His goal after high school is to be a graphic designer or software engineer. So the Student of the Month for River Valley is Robert Summerlin.
Congratulations, board members and moms and dads, if you want to get a quick picture.
Okay, let's move on to 1.7. Would someone like to make a motion to recess into executive session for discussion of this matter?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll recess for executive session. Okay, let's reconvene this meeting. Let's move on to 3.1. Now, 3.1 is reconvene the meeting. So, next is donations. I would like to thank River Valley Booster Club for their numerous generous donations. Tops AZ 0550. I'd like to thank VIP Adventures LLC. I'd like to thank Wickersham Insurance Agency. We'd like to thank Rick Griffin Enterprises. We'd like to thank 3D Networks LLC. We'd like to thank A&G Towing. We'd like to thank A Plus Perfect Cut Barbershop. We'd like to thank Arizona Comfort Solutions. We'd like to thank Aquatic Pool and Landscaping LLC. We'd like to thank Black Mountain Valley Insurance. We'd like to thank Brother Hogs Concrete LLC. We'd like to thank Jason and Gina Hagenkamp. We'd like to thank Jones One Inc. We'd like to thank Primo Pools, and we'd like to thank, I guess that's Robert Brown Apple Construction. I'd like to thank all these people for their generous donations. Thank you so much. I'd like to entertain a motion for thank you letters.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, good. Let's make sure we got everybody there. Okay, let's move to the consent agenda. Let's look at 5.1. Can we do something about this? It's difficult to hold your finger here the whole time when you're talking. Is there any way we can get something on this thing that we can?
I'm pretty sure you can do it the opposite, right? That when you don't want to be heard, you can push it. Right.
About today. Let's put it in the future. Okay, let's move on to 5.1. Would anyone like anything pulled from 5.1? Any of the reports? Okay, let's move on to 5.2. Would anyone like any of the directors or supervisors reports pulled on 5.2? I would like to pull 5.2 field house. Sam, how are we doing on the field house? Just in general, you don't have to go through every.
Yeah, we're doing a little bit less revenue, but we're controlling expenditures quite well.
Okay. That's all I was looking for, just some general input. Anything more on 5.2? Let's move to 5.3. Anyone like any of the vouchers pulled or discussed? Okay, let's move to 5.4. Can you please bring them up? I like it when they're on my thing and not that I have to click on that. Can you bring up the personnel so we can see up on the big screen here? And just in the future, if you can have that, at least on our report, that we can see this without having to click on it, so we can review that. Just start from the top again and go down if you don't mind real quick. Who's controlling that? If you can start at the top and go down again. Okay, go down. You can go down a little more. Okay, good. Anyone have anything there you want to discuss? All right, let's move on to 5.5. Anyone like to pull anything on 5.5? Okay, let's move to 5.6. I'd like to entertain a motion for approval.
I make motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, very good. Let's move on to 6.1. This is old business, second reading on the policy regarding student harm, where the board will be notified if something would happen. And it looks like we would hear within maybe 48 hours, the board would hear. But at least we would hear. Then administration would know within 24, and then they tell us within 24. So, I mean, I think that sounds good. You guys have any further input or ideas? I think this sounds good. It's a good first step.
I like it.
Okay, if somebody want to make a motion, we can move past this.
I make a motion to approve the board policy as written.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, let's move on to 7.1. As I'm going to make some present.
Yeah, Ms. Vargas.
Okay.
Hello, board president, members of the board. If you remember last month, I brought one of the program's applications, and then I said that I'd bring the following program. So this is the next one, and it's air transportation. And you'll eventually see Mojave's too, because he teaches it at both schools. So Mr. Beans is doing a great job collaborating with industry members. And some wish to donate money and like drones and stuff like that to his program. So that's why we need this, if it's okay with you guys.
And what does it do? They're teaching them what specifically?
So air transportation is like a general overview of aviation and like ground school and drones and weather and all that kind of stuff. And he's working really closely with Laughlin Airport.
Very good. That's a great idea.
So
That's fantastic.
I make motion to approve the request for the CTA or transportation.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
thank you.
Okay, excellent job. Thank you. Let's move on to 7.2. Dr. Richard?
Board President, members of the board, one of the goals was for the superintendent to present an analysis of expenditures on extracurricular activities. And we identified what I would call some dormant programs. But you can see on this little bar graph up here kind of what we've been spending overall each year over the past few years when you add up all of our stipends for coaches and extracurricular programs, choir, music, yearbook, all these different types of programs that we have. And doing our research, we did find a number of programs that are really inactive right now. Maybe there's not a teacher sponsor or student interest. And these were ones that we believe that we can cut, and it would save about $32,000. However, keep in mind, obviously, if student interest returns and there's a dynamic club sponsor or teacher that wants to get one of these things going again, we would certainly bring it back to the board to reinstate it.
What is DK Tournament of Champions?
That is a softball tournament that happens at Mojave High School, and it appears that a stipend was being paid for somebody to coordinate it.
I mean, this is what we suspected. Thanks for finding that out. Well, that's fantastic.
How many, I assume that there is a missing comma between Drama Spring and Yearbook.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so how many parts are in drama? Is it just one? Is it 2, 3, 4?
So we actually have a extracurricular program stipend that the board approved last year, where that covers our theater program, and we have someone doing that.
So it doesn't infringe on actually having like drama.
No, in fact, the play is next week, Mr. Dell, or this week?
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Nice.
This week.
Thank you.
Mr. Dell's daughter is starring in the play. He's really excited.
I am.
Very good. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Maybe I missed this. Is this school specific, or is this like?
It depends on the school. So, for example, some schools have some of the programs and some don't. So, for example, cross country exists at Mojave High School, but right now not at River Valley. But that could change depending on the school year.
Got it.
So district-wide, these specific ones that are inactive or dormant positions.
Yes.
And it's not affecting students currently, right?
No, these are programs that are not really happening right now, that there's not a interest in.
Okay, are you wanting us to make a motion?
You do not have to take any action. It was just one of the goals that the board gave me. I'm just presenting the information that was requested.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the action part, I just haven't put discussion, possible action on every single thing. So, God forbid you need to do something, you can, so that they're not citing us for something. All right. Any more discussion on 7.2? Okay, let's move on to 7.3.
Mr. President, members of the board, we saw our JROT students here tonight. They always do a great job with the Pledge of Allegiance. We did receive this letter from the Department of the Air Force notifying us that our school is on probation because of enrollment. They want a minimum of 100 students in the program. Right now we're, I think, at 97 when we checked today. So just a little bit shy. And so I know that Major Davis is going to be hopefully working to increase that enrollment, but we felt it was important to let the board know that we did receive this letter.
I'm glad you let us know that, because in the past we haven't heard these kinds of things. Why do they want a minimum enrollment? What if you have a smaller campus like we do? I mean,
Yeah.
how is that? How is that? How do they justify this?
Maybe Major Davis can answer some of those questions, or well, I can let you know, Dr. Cardone, that in my experience, it has to do with getting the program in the first place. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's typical for small schools to be awarded a ROTC program.
So there's certain, I didn't realize that if it falls below a certain level, that they, what do they do if it stays below 100 for a year or two? You have 97 kids.
So, yeah, we have started a few years ago, and this is true for all of our elective teachers, whether you teach art or drama or band or ROTC, just in general, because it's an elective, students have to choose to take that class. They're not required to take the class. For example, every student has to take Algebra 1. Every student has to take English 9, mandated by the state. You don't have to do ROTC. You don't have to take a weights class. You don't have to take an art class. Those are choices. So if the program is dynamic, if it's exciting, if there's an energetic teacher, then obviously more kids will go into that program. If the kids don't find the program interesting for whatever reason, you'll see the enrollment sometimes go down.
And where do they have opportunity to look at this ahead of time? Is it before they start, obviously, but where are the venues that they can interact and decide this?
So there's a number of ways that we try to recruit. We obviously, our guidance counselors do that through the registration process. We've offered all of our elective teachers a school business day where they can get a sub and they can go to our junior highs and coordinate and present. And we also encourage, we have our freshman success class that all of our freshmen go to. Last year, Ms. Vargas encouraged our teachers to go and present to those students to try to get them interested and excited about choosing an elective. I've seen teachers go out at lunchtime and talk to kids and just, try to do some innovative things to, and some of our programs are pretty successful at recruiting kids. Some struggle with it, and it's something we're always kind of watching the numbers on.
And I thought that when he spoke before, they dropping this number to 50 from 100, or I misunderstood?
It's in the National Defense Authorization Act that we're just simply waiting for presidential signature. As soon as that gets signed, yes, it goes to 50. We're the only program where there is a minimum enrollment. And clarify a little bit for Dr. Cardone, the minimum number is based on either the school enrollment or 100, whichever is less. So it's 10% of school enrollment. Say you got 900 kids in the school, it would be 90. If you got 1,200 kids, but you only got 105, 100 becomes the minimum. So it's whichever one is the lower number.
What are you doing to recruit? Have you been to the junior high school?
Oh yes, we go every year. At the beginning of the year, we go into the PE classes. We bring out a road show all the great, wonderful things that we do. And we usually get several kids that'll switch from PE into ROTC because ROTC counts as a PE credit.
And what junior high schools have you gone to?
Well, Fox Creek, our feeder school.
Just one?
Yeah, just that one. That's our main one.
Was there, there's other schools. Have you asked, say, Desert Star, if you could go there?
That's an idea. I think we should do that. Yeah.
What about Mojave? Have you been down there in Mojave Valley?
Not lately, no. So we did once several years back, but not in recent memory, no.
Well, how about Malk? Even though they have elementary and they have junior high, they might want to come here. I think we should explore all those avenues.
Yep, that'll be in our.
And Young Scholars, a
And Young
lot of the
Scholars,
students
yeah,
go
exactly.
there.
Yeah, we'll have that in the
after.
Get Well plan on.
Have you been to Young Scholars?
I have not, no.
Oh, well, we're going to have to clean up some of that there.
Okay.
That's
We can do
easy.
that. Yeah, exactly. Low-hanging fruit. So we'll put
Yeah,
that in the
exactly.
plan and make it all happen.
All right, well, good. At least we have some direction. All right, any more discussion on this? All right, let's look down at this day for December. And it'll be the next meeting. Is that okay with everyone? It's not really into the holidays. Yeah. We may have some events coming up that we might have to have a special meeting. But as of this time, at least this will be a regular scheduled meeting. Yeah, is that okay with everyone? Let's look at that day. At least it's not too close to the holiday. It is the second Monday.
Fine for me.
Okay.
Good for me.
Okay. Anyone want to make a motion?
Motion to have the next meeting on December 9th, 6 p.m.
Okay, I second that. And-
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to adjourn. Anyone?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.